just a short yoga flow for a few people that have said they'd be interested in just having something sort of specifically for surfing. So I thought it might be good to obviously focus on the physical element of surfing, so incorporating some back bends and kind of some strengthening work, but also kind of some of the other challenges. So sometimes maybe confidence, or sometimes like being in those positions where you feel like, oh, I wish I could try for a bigger wave, or why didn't I commit? And yoga is a really good way to kind of find a bit of space and maybe approach some of these challenges, and just, yeah, maybe a new tool really in the toolkit to try and improve your surfing, and also just to increase your enjoyment. Hopefully you like it. If you just drop me a message and let me know, and if it's something you want to see more of, then that's cool. I'd love to kind of make it a regular thing, and hopefully help you on your surfing journey. Cool, so let's get started. So gonna sit in a comfortable seated position to start with. Think about that connection between the sits bones and the mat. Maybe move the fleshy bits from the bum, just to help tilt that pelvis forwards a little bit, and just gently rest the palms on top of the thighs, maybe with a little pressure just to help open the chest and keep a nice upright position. Gently close the eyes and start to relax the breath a little bit. Start to notice that connection between maybe the edges of the feet on the mat, the sits bones. Just start to kind of notice any sounds around you. Don't try and block them out, just let them be there, but know that for the next few minutes you're kind of in this space for yourself, and try and get from it whatever you want, whether that's like a physical benefit, emotional benefit. This is your time that you've committed, and it's just for you to enjoy. When you're ready, just take some gentle shoulder rolls. So you can take little shoulder rolls or big shoulder rolls up to the ears. Really squeeze those shoulder blades back and down. Take a few of these in your own time and just get from them what you need from them. Don't forget to breathe here, and maybe start to kind of deepen the breath a little bit. Sometimes if we're busy or we've had a stressful day, like we just breathe in the top part of our chest, but actually that can kind of further increase that feeling of stress. And something that's really relevant for surfing, actually, a way to kind of calm yourself down and maybe refocus, is just to extend that breathing. So really breathe into the belly, and just helps to calm the nervous system down a bit. Keep that face nice and relaxed, so the jaw's just hanging, the eyes are soft. Concentrate on releasing any tension in the face. Just sit in stillness for a moment. Take an in-breath and reach up, and look up to the space between the hands. Drop those shoulders down and have a nice open feeling, and really get a good stretch here. Maybe you'll feel it in the back or in the shoulders. On the exhale, just gently twist to the right. So place the left hand on the right knee and then your right hand behind you. Either fingertips pressed in, or maybe your hand is flat to the floor. You can just gently gaze to your right. Or if you want to deepen that stretch a little bit, you could really think about squeezing the air out and twisting a little bit further so you can look over the right shoulder. Just take a few breaths here. When you're ready, just come back to center, give the arms a bit of a shake out, and maybe a couple more rolls, just in loosen the upper back. Take an in-breath, reach up. Again, have that lovely space in the top of the back, above the shoulders. Exhale, reach around to your left. Imagine not only twisting, but kind of think of someone maybe pulling up a little piece of string from the top of your head. So as well as a nice deep twist in the back, we're also making sure we've got a nice straight spine. Again, keep the face relaxed. And maybe think about that breath here, breathing in through the nose and then gently out through the mouth. And maybe you could try visualizing that breath coming into the nose, into the upper chest, mid-chest, belly. And then visualize that journey of the breath leaving the body. So belly, mid-chest, upper chest, throat, out of the mouth. When you're ready, just come back to center. Breathe in, reach up. This time place the right hand on the mat and just take a dive to the left. So trying to focus on bringing that arm over the ear and just pointing to your right hand side. Keep the chest nice and open here. Maintain a good connection with the sits bones and the mat. Just enjoy a few breaths here. When you're ready, come back to center. Take an in-breath, reach up. Place the left hand on the mat. We're going to do that on the other side. So take a good stretch to the left. Get to a point that kind of feels comfortable for you. Maybe you'll feel a stretch in the side of the torso. Maybe it's quite challenging in this left arm. Just take a moment to settle in and kind of consider sensations that might be happening in the body. Breathe in and come back to center. Going to take some neck rolls, so roll the chin down to the chest. Follow with the eyes here as well, so the eyes get a bit of a workout. Maybe breathe in as your chin just gets to the top, and then as you exhale, gently roll the chin down and round. Breathe in and fill up that belly. Breathe out and roll the neck back round. Come to center, just give the shoulders a bit of a shake out again. Going to do some seated cat-cow, so just gently place the palms on the thighs here. Maybe swap the cross of the legs actually. It's always good to have that sensation of being a little bit out of our comfort zones. Some people it's kind of equally comfortable on the other side, so when you kind of cross your legs the other way, but sometimes it can feel like totally alien, but it's kind of a good thing to experience that and kind of figure out how to deal with it. Sometimes in life and in surfing, like you're put in situations that might make you feel a bit uncomfortable and you kind of question yourself, and it's just good to sometimes be able to sit with that a little bit. So place the palms on the thighs. Just settle into this position for a moment. When you're ready, take an in-breath, open the chest, Lift the chin, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Keep those sits bones connected with the mat here. Exhale, suck in that belly button towards the spine, round the back. Really open the shoulders. Imagine every little puff of air going out of the chest. Breathe in. Come back through, so imagine a flashlight in the chest here and you're trying your best to shine it forward. Breathe out. Roll back through. Take a few of these at a pace that feels good, so you get a nice stretch in your body where you need it. When you're ready, just come back to center. So now we're going to come on to all fours. We're going to do some sun salutations. So obviously physically they're good for strength and emotionally, like it's a really nice way of creating heat and kind of confidence and inner strength really. And also there are some sort of motions that are really useful for popping up and kind of focusing on your sort of central line and your foundation. So we'll come over into a tabletop position, set up that foundation, start thinking about the toes pressing into the mat, tops of feet pressing into the mat here, knees are hip width apart, the belly is engaged. Imagine the belly button is an actual button and you're trying to push it back to the spine, so it helps to create that nice table flat back. Creases of the elbows are pointing forward. The shoulders, elbows, wrists are stacked in line. And with the hands, we want to concentrate on kind of removing some of that pressure from the wrists. So spreading the weight between the fingers, think about the thumbs pressing in, the first finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, the mounds of the hands, palms of the hands, and then just gently gaze in front of you. Come back to that breathing and settling into this position for a moment before we take any movements. From here, when you're ready, we're going to do some more cat-cows. So really round. Imagine, you know, when a cat gets up first thing in the morning and they have their amazing morning stretch. Try and feel that same sensation that the cat might feel. Then roll through, open the chest, shoulders back, look ahead. Exhale, roll back through. Keep the elbow creases pointing forwards and then just take a few of these in your own time. Maybe you want to do them quickly or slowly, whatever you feel like your body needs today. Maybe give the head a little shake out when you're in the cat position. Release a bit of tension in the neck. When you're ready, just come back to a neutral position. We're going to continue a bit of movement in this pose, so take a look over your left shoulder towards your left foot. Feel that nice stretch sensation in the side of the torso perhaps. Look over to the right, to the left, to the right. And then just come back to a tabletop position and make your way to the top of the mat. So we're going to come into a standing position now. Hopefully you can still see me. My arms might go out of shot, so I apologise for that. Just try and move the mat backwards a little bit. Maybe that's better. We will see. Okay, so with your feet hip width apart, just find your foundation here. So standing is seemingly such a simple thing, but actually consciously standing. Think about the toes pressing in, the balls of the feet, the outer edge of the foot. Just visualize the heels digging into the mat and that really nice sort of suction of the feet to the mat. Continue that up the body, so imagine the pelvis tilted slightly forwards, that belly button again is pulled back to the spine, shoulders are rolled back and the chest is open, and the hands are facing forward with the fingers apart. From here we're going to take an in-breath and reach up. On the exhale, hinge at the hips, suck that belly in, guide the chest down and come down to a forward fold. Forward fold for you might be hands on a cushion or on fingertips. If you've got any sort of sensitivity in the knees, or generally actually just keep a slight bend in the knees. It might be not even be visible, but just to make sure they're protected. And in a forward fold, just kind of enjoy that sensation of the feeling the blood flow around the body and creating a bit of warmth in the head. Maybe take hold of the elbows and just hang here for a little bit. Maybe take an in-breath, and on the exhale you might be able to find a little more distance here. When you're ready, place the hands on the shins or on the thighs. Keep that open chest, just gaze to the floor. Exhale, hands to the mat and step back into a plank position. So we want to concentrate on our foundation here as always. Think about toes pressing into the mat, balls of feet pressing in. The feet are hip width apart here. You've got that nice connection with the mat in the hands, creases of the elbows facing forward again. When you're ready, come down onto the knees, tuck the elbows in and bring yourself down to the mat, and we're going to come up into baby cobra. That might be hands flat on the mat, or perhaps fingertips is quite nice. It gives a little bit more space. Just take a gaze in front of you. When you're ready, tuck those toes under. This has obviously got a lot of parallels to surfing, so really enjoy that fluid movement. So the hands under the shoulders, tuck the elbows in, engage the core and push up into downward dog. It might be your first of the day, it might not be, but either way, let's have a bit of movement in our dog. So just pedal out the feet here. Think about pressing the hands away, so almost the more you press the hands in, the higher the bum kind of reaches up, so those sits bones are nice and high, and that sort of counteracting force really. And then when you're ready, just make your way to the top of the mat, feet hip width apart again, engage the core, bend the knees and reach up. On the exhale, bring the arms back down to the sides. Might feel a little bit of heat here. Typically these are done in the morning, and it's not morning now, but it's quite an energizing kind of practice. So we're going to do that again. Breathe in, reach up. Imagine climbing up a ladder and really getting a good stretch in the body. Exhale, open those arms, reach that chest forward, hinge at the hips, come down to the mat in your forward fold. Take an in-breath. Exhale, maybe sink a little deeper, fold a little further. Inhale into that flat back position. On the exhale, come back into your plank. Sorry for me like shifting around on the mat here, but I've got limited space. And we're going to come back into our cobra, baby cobra or full cobra, either via the knees, or if you want to come in through chaturanga, keep the creases of the elbows facing forward, roll over and send yourself down to the mat. From here, come into that baby cobra position with the elbows drawn in, tops of feet pressed into the mat, and the chest nice and open. Maybe we'll just stay here for a moment. When you're ready, tuck the toes under, come back up into your downward dog. Spend some time just kind of feeling the sensations in the body. As you press those hands in, it creates a bit of space maybe in the upper back, and maybe kind of helps to loosen any tension in the neck a little. Feel the face relaxing as the blood flows in. When you're ready, make your way to the top of the mat. Breathe in, come up to standing. Inhale, reach up. Shine that chest right forward. Come into your forward fold. Into our plank. Chaturanga. Baby cobra or maybe full cobra. Keep the face nice and relaxed here. Tuck the toes under. Come back to your dog and make your way to the top of the mat. Maybe give the arms a bit of a shake out here. A nice little roll of the wrist as well. Maybe roll the ankles. Just stretch the fingers. Stand with the feet hip width apart. Step the right foot back. So you want to stay on the ball of the foot here. Hips pointing forward. That left knee is at a nice right angle, so the knee is stacked over the ankle. Feel those toes connecting with the mat. Open the chest. Take an in-breath. Reach the hands up overhead. Just get settled here for a moment. When you're ready, exhale, hinge at the hips. Place the hands beside the feet. Open up that chest. Maybe shimmy that back leg a little further back and open that hip a little bit more. Kind of feel a lightness in the fingers, so we don't want to slump forward. We just want to be gently resting. The legs are doing quite a lot of the hard work here. Then turn that back foot to 45 degrees. Straighten the front leg. So just check that heel to arch alignment. Either take hold of the thigh here, or perhaps you want to keep the hands on the hips. If you want to come into the full expression, reach down to the ankle. Imagine pulling a bow up from the floor. So really open up that chest. Create lots of space in this position. The back leg and foot are really well connected, so that outer edge of the foot is connected with the mat. When you're ready, hands back, come back into downward dog. Roll forward into a plank position. Just going to hold it here a little bit. Maybe add some movement. When you're ready, tuck the elbows in, come forward into cobra or maybe up dog with that nice open chest. Tuck the toes under, engage the core, and back into our down dog. Make your way back to the top of the mat. Feet are hip width apart here. Come up to your standing, reach up, bring the arms down and step back with the left foot this time. So set up that foundation again with that nice alignment from the knee to the ankle. The feet are well and truly suckering into the mat. Imagine the feet being like the bits on the octopus tentacles and really having a good suction into the mat. Back foot is connected as well, ball of foot, the toes, flashlights in the hips, and we want to be pointing them forwards. Nice open chest. Breathe in and reach up. Exhale, engage the core, hinge forward. Maybe wiggle that back foot back a little bit. Feel that lightness in the fingertips and the chest open. Might feel a bit of a stretch in the hip here, so the left hand side. And it's really nice to bring a bit of mobility into that area. And from here, turn that back foot to 45 degrees. We're going to come back into our triangle on this side. So as before, you might just want to straighten that leg, and maybe you want to stand, just keep the legs in a nice straight position. You might want to try and lean over a little bit. So before coming down, think about really leaning, reaching over to the right before you slide that hand down. And then pull up and open that chest up, and you can look up towards the hand, or if it's more comfortable for you, just gently gaze at a kind of point in front of you. When you're ready, bring the hands back beside the feet and just come to step up towards the top of your mat. Gently roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Engage with that core. And we're just going to step to the side of our mats now. So let's start with the feet just slightly wider than the hips here. Sorry, just need to pull up my trousers. Roll the shoulders back and open the chest. Maybe gently close the eyes and feel the outer edges of the feet really connecting with the mat here. So kind of the more you press into those, the stronger the legs become. The knees are not kind of folding in, they're nice and open, the legs are strong. Take an in-breath and lift the arms. So we're coming into star position. It's kind of a nice empowering pose to be in. Quite simple, calming, but at the same time, kind of a strengthening feeling. Think about reaching out as far as you can, left and right. Take a big inhale, press that belly button back to the spine, hinge at the hips, and we're going to come into a forward fold with the chest nice and open. Clasp the hands behind you and look back between the legs. You might want to keep a bend in the knees here. Really consciously think about pulling the hands away, so opening the chest while you're folding forwards. Don't forget to breathe here. When you feel some heat building in the arms, just gently let go, shake the arms out, and just place fingertips on the floor. After that feeling of heat, that connection with the fingertips and the floor kind of immediately creates a cooling sensation, which is really lovely. Maybe you want to try shimmying the feet out a little bit here. Take an in-breath, and on that exhale, zip those elbows in so the creases of the arms are facing forward. Maybe you might be able to find a little more space here, so just gently crawl the hands back towards the space between the feet. You might find some interesting sensations in the legs here. Just let the head hang. And if you do feel those sensations and they do feel uncomfortable, like obviously we don't want any pain because that is too far, but sometimes that uncomfortable sensation encourages us to open up a little bit and to kind of challenge things. So just try and direct your breath into that area. Then we're going to walk our hands over to the left. Back to center, to the right. To center. Engage the core, hinge back up at the hips. And just move the feet in a little bit here, so we still want them to be wider than our hips. We're going to come into Malasana, so a squat. If you do have any knee issues, just kind of make your way down to the mat into a comfortable seated position. But otherwise, we're going to start by coming into goddess pose. So the toes are slightly pointed out here. Imagine you are about to sit back into a chair, but obviously there's no chair there, so you kind of get to that point where the knees open, the chair is not there. Open up the arms here. Maybe the toes lift up, maybe they don't. We don't want those knees coming forward of the toes. We want to be open, sitting back. When you're ready, circle the arms, reach up, exhale, bring them in a circle, open back up, open that chest. Quite a powerful posture. When you're ready, work the feet a little further in, and we're going to come down into our squat position. So maybe you want your hands here and you're leaning into the hands, just kind of a more comfortable position on the balls of the feet perhaps, maybe a bit more passive, or perhaps you want to give the full expression a try and maybe just hang out here a bit. A really nice hip opener. Place those elbows in the creases of the knees. Maybe you might want to place a block under the sits bones here. Or perhaps you're just happy to kind of sit here and relax into it a little bit. By pressing those hands together, it helps to create that space in the hips and the knees to ultimately keep the chest nice and open. When you're ready, just place the hands down behind you and come to sit on your mat. Okay, so we're going to do a bit of back bending here. Obviously, it's one of those things that's really important, that kind of movement in the spine for surfing. And often if we sit in maybe an office, like over a desk or something, we're often kind of bending our bodies the other way to the really nice curve that we need in our spine to be able to kind of have a good surfing session. Don't know about you guys, but there have been instances, especially in the winter, especially here in the UK, where when it is chilly, like you certainly feel it in the bones and the back, and everything feels a little bit more tense, so it's kind of nice to have that movement if we can. So make your way onto your front. Just take a moment here to enjoy that kind of relaxed prone position. So place the right hand over the left hand and just place the forehead on top of the hand. And think about what you want to get from tonight's practice. Physical strength, emotional strength, the ability to challenge yourself. Maybe you can feel some heat off the forehead, so kind of physical heat is a great way to build emotional strength. Now we're going to take our hands to our sides with palms face down, chin resting on the mat here. Just gaze in front of you and kind of get used to this sensation. Think about what parts of the body are touching the mat. Tops of feet, knees, thighs, belly, chest, chin. Take an in breath. Just lift that chin a little. Think about opening those shoulders and the chest. Again, think about the flashlight, like Iron Man style. Just trying to point that forward, so while we're bending, we're still really wanting to open. Just stay here for a couple of breaths. Exhale, chin back down to the mat. Breathe in, lift the hand, shoulders, flashlight forwards, chin comes up. That core is engaged, the lower back is working here. Exhale, come down. Breathe in, fold up. Exhale, come down. Just need to shimmy my mat forward a little bit here. From here we are going to focus on the legs this time. So on the in-breath, really point those toes and activate the legs and lift the legs up off the mat. Hold it for a couple of seconds. If there's any tension in the lower back, keep the feet on the floor. Exhale, bring the legs down. Breathe in and lift. Point those toes. Breathe out, feet to the mat. This time we're going to put it all together, so just take a couple breaths here. Breathe in. On the exhale, reach back, open that chest, shoulders back, feet come up. Feel that connection with the belly and the mat, thighs on the mat. Feel that heat that this is creating. Maybe you feel like you come a little further up, challenge. Exhale, come back to the mat. Place the hands on top of one another and just either have the forehead or the cheek resting on the top of the hand. Hinge those arms out. So set the elbows up under the shoulders. Press the tops of the toes, tops of the feet into the mat. Open that chest and just gaze gently in front of you. Whatever's in front of you, I've got a door in front of me, but maybe just find a kind of gentle focal point. Just deepen the breath here again. Think about the fingers, the pads of each finger just pressing into the mat. Maybe by pulling in that belly, you can kind of find a little more space and a little more height here. We're going to come back into our locust pose, so chin on the floor, reach those arms back, open that chest. Breathe in through the nose on the exhale, lift the feet, shoulders, arms, just gaze in front of you. Maybe this time you find a little more height, maybe you find a little less. Point those toes. Breathe out, come back to the mat. Now, give the legs a little bit of a kick here, just to bring some looseness into the muscles and to take a bit of pressure off the knees. And if you can, try grabbing hold of the top of your right foot. Think about rolling that shoulder back. Keep the face relaxed here. Notice if there's a sensation, if you kind of gently pulse the foot, maybe you can feel that in the top of the thigh. Think about the points connecting with the mat. A nice, solid, firm foundation, which is obviously key to surfing. When you're ready, let go, give the legs a shake out. Maybe a little bit of a massage of the sacroiliac joints, so the joints in the lower back here, just to bring a bit of looseness. Take hold of the left foot. Roll that shoulder back. Just pulse that foot again and see if you can maybe loosen the muscles a little bit. Release some tension. And then give that leg a shake out. This time we're going to grab both feet, so the knees should be hip width apart here. Think about bringing those shoulders back, the flashlight in our chest forward, point those toes, and then come up and just kind of feel that moving, rocking sensation. The core is engaged. Just gaze in front of you. 5 minutes. When you're ready, slowly come back down to the mat, release the feet, give the legs a good shake out. Bye. Going to do that again, so take hold of the feet, feel that connection with the thighs and the mat, roll the shoulders back here, and come up when you're ready. Exhale, gently roll back down to the mat. Give everything a good shake out. And from here, we're going to come into a child's pose. So feel that connection with the heels and the bum. You might want your arms stretched out in front of you with the head resting on the mat, or maybe tops of hands and arms behind you. A nice passive, relaxing pose. After that feeling of heat, quite quickly the body can start to kind of cool down here, so Just pay attention to that sensation on the skin and kind of a sense of stillness that you can create after quite an intense situation. When you're ready, just come to a kneeling position and make your way into a comfortable seat. As we've been doing a bit of kind of back bending, I think we'll just make our way down onto our elbows. Get into a comfortable position, so just kind of stretch the back of the head here, clasp the hands, stretch out the skin and just gently place the head on the mat. Keep the knees bent, feet are connected with the mat, feet are pretty much together. Just going to shift our hips to the left a couple of centimetres and then drop our knees to the right for a nice spinal twist. We won't take the arms up here because we've been doing quite a lot of kind of bending in the spine. Just take more of a gentle twist for the moment. Engage the core and bring the knees back to centre. Shift the hips to the right. Drop the knees to the left. Open the right knee up here. Just adjust the lower back. So lift up the bum and then place it back down. Put the soles of the feet together, open up the hips. And just place the hands on the belly here and let gravity gently take hold of the legs and help them make their way down to the floor. Really nice opening in the hips. Bring those knees together and then the knees into the chest. Maybe have a little roll around on those joints and give them a nice massage with the mat. Keep those shoulders connected with the mat and the face nice and relaxed here. Maybe take it the other way. Really focus on that sort of little bit of movement and the sensation that creates throughout the body, and think about how that translates to surfing. Like the tiniest of movements can be the difference between the best wave of the day and the worst wave of the day. Take some ankle rolls here, stretch out the toes. Then bring the feet back to the mat. We're going to come into Shavasana now, so grab yourselves a blanket if you've got one nearby. Maybe just put a jumper on. And you can come into Shavasana with your feet hip width or mat width apart, perhaps knees together for kind of a nice relaxing sensation. Otherwise, bring the feet down to the legs down to the mat. Just let them kind of hang there and be comfortable and get ready to take everything in. All the heat you've created and kind of the movement in the body, and it's to prepare yourself to really benefit from it and to absorb everything in Shavasana. So it's a time just to regain some stillness and whatever your focus was for tonight, whether it's physical, emotional, just let that sink in and know that after this practice you can take that off the mat and into your day. Just tuck those shoulders under. Start to deepen the breath. After you've taken a couple of good breaths, just switch off. When you're ready, start to bring some consciousness back into the body. Maybe focus on the sounds around you. Wiggle the fingers and toes, give the wrists a bit of a roll around. Roll over onto whatever side feels comfortable. Keep the eyes closed. Make your way up into a cross-legged position. Maybe the hips feel a little more open and the body a little bit more energized and like you're ready to take on your next challenge, whether that's in life or in surfing. Thank you for joining me on this practice today, and I hope you guys get something from it. And I wish you a good day. Namaste.